The universe had always been indifferent. For 14 billion years it expanded in cold elegance. Stars igniting, collapsing, scattering their elements into new worlds. Civilizations rose and crumbled on countless planets, each leaving its mark like faint fingerprints on cosmic glass. But through all that time, through all that vastness, nothing had ever truly terrified the universe. Not until humanity. It began quietly, as most catastrophes do. The first anomaly was detected by the astrophysics array on Titan, one of Saturn's moons, a shimmering distortion just beyond the Kuiper Belt. Dr. Lana Mirek was the first to notice it. A physicist by training, an explorer by nature, she was the sort of scientist who refused to shrug at any mystery. At first, she thought it was sensor interference. The signal rippled like a heartbeat, slow and powerful, bending space like a great lung inhaling, but the pattern repeated, exact down to the nanosecond. "Something's knocking," she whispered to herself. When she submitted her report, the Titan Science Council dismissed it as gravitational lensing. But then Earth picked up the same pulsations. Mars followed. Even the mining colonies orbiting Proxima Centauri reported identical patterns. Something in deep space was tapping on the fabric of reality. For months, the signals grew stronger, sharpening into structured frequencies. Mathematical sequences, encoded layers, a message of cosmic scale. Humanity did what it always did when faced with the unknown. It called a meeting. The Great Assembly convened in orbit above Earth. Scientists, military leaders, philosophers, diplomats, thousands of minds gathered in the vast floating station known as the Helios Dome. Dr. Mirek stood alone on the central platform, her data projected in swirling holograms. "I believe," she announced, "that this is a warning system. Something is entering our region of spacetime, something enormous." Her voice trembled, not from fear but anticipation, for humanity had reached a point where nothing felt out of reach. Faster than light travel had become routine. Quantum harvesting fed entire planets. A species born on a single blue dot now reached across 12 star systems. They were no longer small. When the distortion finally arrived, when space rippled open like a tearing curtain, no one was prepared. A colossal structure emerged, dwarfing even Jupiter. It wasn't a ship, not in the traditional sense. It looked grown rather than built, like a titanic fossil sculpted by the void, spiraling ribs of white metal, enormous hollow chambers, and a nucleus glowing with blue-black energy. The probes sent to scan it were annihilated before transmitting a single byte. Humanity called it the Vault. The assembly went quiet for days. Some feared an invasion, others believed it to be a relic. But Dr. Mirek, studying the residual fluctuations around the vault, felt something else. "It's not an enemy," she insisted. "It's a tomb." But she was only half right, middle. The day humanity answered back. When humanity finally entered the vault, they did so cautiously. A small expeditionary ship, Artemis Spear, drifted toward the massive ribbed aperture that resembled a yawning cosmic mouth. Lana joined the mission, heart pounding as she looked into the glowing darkness. "Captain Pierce," she murmured, "this structure is dormant. No active defense systems. We'll be safe." Pierce grunted. "That's what they said before stepping on landmines back on Earth." The entry was uneventful. The interior was hollow, a vast cavern lined with crystalline conduits. Strange symbols spiraled along the walls, etched like scars left from something scratching to escape. As the team advanced deeper, they found massive alien skeletons suspended in translucent canisters. Their bodies were humanoid yet elongated, with branching bone structures like antlers. "Preserved," Lana whispered. "Not dead, stored." The Artemis Spear recorded thousands of them, an entire species, frozen in stasis. Then they found the central chamber. At its heart lay an orb of swirling dark energy, the vault's core, radiating faint whispers like a chorus speaking across time. Lana reached toward it with her scanner. The energy bloomed, pulsing. A projection flickered into existence, a towering figure like the aliens outside, but alive, shimmering, translucent. It spoke, not in sound but in raw thought pressed into their minds. "Flee." The crew staggered back, ears ringing. Another pulse. "The Eater of Stars comes." Lana felt her breath catch. Who? What? The projection's eyes seemed to focus on her specifically. Your species is young, impulsive. But you are also not bound. You break limits. The voice grew louder. Our kind fought the Star Eater. We lost. We hid ourselves here, a vault against the end. The chamber vibrated violently. And now, IT comes for you. Before anyone could react, the orb's energy spiked. Lana realized the vault was reacting to another incoming distortion, the same pattern she had first detected months earlier. Pierce yelled, "Back to the ship! Move!" But the chamber sealed itself with blinding light. The projection raised one elongated finger, pointing at them. "You are like IT. That is why IT hunts you." The vault erupted into catastrophic tremors. Lana felt her body lifted by invisible force. A surge of information streamed into her mind. Coordinates, star maps, memories not her own, the history of a dying civilization that had fought a cosmic predator across galaxies. When she awoke, she was aboard the Artemis sphere. The mission had escaped barely, as the vault cracked apart and collapsed into itself like a dying sun. But something else came through. A second distortion, a shadow. A creature made of gravitational collapse and starlight, immense beyond comprehension. Space warped around it. Stars dimmed. Black hole radiation dripped from its fractal limbs. Humanity saw it, and for the first time in centuries felt small again. The assembly named it the Star Eater, though the term hardly captured the terror of its presence. It was not alive in any biological sense. It was a cosmic mechanism, a predator evolved, or engineered, to devour energy, matter, even the quantum coherence of reality itself. And it had noticed humanity. The vault projection had been right. Humans had grown too quickly, advanced too recklessly. They bent physics until it broke, created weapons that tore rifts into subspace, extracted energy from the vacuum itself. They were special. They were dangerous. And predators always killed the dangerous prey first. Humanity made a decision that would change cosmic history. They would not run. They would fight. The first battle was disastrous. Fleets from 12 star systems fired antimatter rounds, entanglement disruptors, quantum destabilizers. Nothing mattered. The Star Eater absorbed everything, its body rippling with stolen energy. The second battle was worse. Entire colonies vanished in seconds, swallowed by gravitational vortices. Light years of space were stripped bare, turned into void. In the Helios dome, Dr. Mirek stared at a hologram of the devastation. "We can't destroy it," she whispered. "But we can outthink it." She had been studying the memories the vault had forced into her mind, records of the alien civilization, the Thalen, who had fought the Star Eater millions of years ago. Their technology was ancient but brilliant, and they had come close to stopping the creature. Lana presented her findings. "The Thalen created a weapon they never fired," she said. "A quantum inversion engine. It doesn't destroy matter. It inverts it, flips its fundamental constants, turns it into something the Star Eater cannot consume." General Horace frowned. "A poison?" "A cage," Lana corrected. "A prison woven out of reversed physics," the assembly argued for days. Using such a weapon risked tearing spacetime. It could destabilize star systems. It could break reality itself. But humanity was out of options. They built it. The inversion engine floated like a black comet above Neptune, protected by fleets, powered by the collective energy reserves of 12 colonies. Firing it would require a sacrifice. It had to be deployed at point-blank range. Captain Pierce volunteered. The Artemis Spear was chosen as the delivery vessel, not because it was the strongest, but because it was fast enough to outrun the first wave of space-time collapse. Lana refused to let Pierce go alone. "I started this," she said softly. "I finish it." He gave her a long look. "Lana, if this fails, it won't." The Star Eater arrived within hours, tearing through the outer planets like tissue paper. Its gravitational tendrils reached for Neptune as the Artemis Spear ignited its engines, flying directly toward the behemoth. Inside the ship, alarms screamed. The hull bent inward. Space twisted at wrong angles. "Deploying in 3. Lana shouted over the roar. 2, 1! She slammed her hand on the release panel. The inversion engine fired. Reality screamed. A sphere of inverted physics exploded outward, colorless, soundless, devouring itself as it expanded. The Star Eater recoiled, its body fracturing. Tendrils snapped. Black hole nodes flickered. The creature convulsed, and for the first time in its existence, it fled. The inverted sphere collapsed behind it, sealing the rift. The Artemis spear spun wildly, its hull breaking apart. Pierce grabbed Lana's arm. "We did it," he said through ragged breaths. "Yes," she whispered. "But it'll return. It always returns." She looked out the viewport at the fading echo of the inversion engine, and next time she said, "We'll be ready. End. Why the universe fears us." The universe learned something that day. It learned that humanity was not prey. News spread across star systems, across cultures, across species observing humanity from afar. Some had watched humans rise from their homeworld with curiosity, others with amusement, a few with concern, but none had ever expected this. Humanity had stared into the maw of a cosmic predator and answered with impossible defiance. Alien civilizations that had remained hidden for millennia emerged, sending emissaries, offering alliances, seeking the protection of the species that had wounded a godlike creature. The Thalen vault, what remained of it, broadcast a final pulse across space, a message echoing in ancient code. When decoded, it read simply, "The children who break limits have awakened. Humanity began developing newer defenses, building on Thalen technology. They studied the remnants of the inversion engine, refining it. They began constructing deep space beacons, early warning networks, gravitational distortion trackers." The Star Eater had fled, but it had not died. It would heal, it would adapt, and humanity would meet it again. But the universe had already shifted. Across distant nebulae, other predators, cosmic leviathans, ancient machine hives, dormant stellar parasites, felt the ripples of the battle. They sensed something new, something dangerously unpredictable. A species that learned faster than any before it. A species that broke rules, reshaped physics, weaponized reality itself. A species that, when threatened with extinction, built a device that inverted the fundamental constants of existence just to survive. The universe began to fear humanity, not because they were the strongest, not because they were the oldest, but because humans possessed a trait so rare and so terrifying that even cosmic horrors trembled before it. Humanity refused to accept limits. Lana Mirek stood on the observation deck of the rebuilt Helios dome, gazing at the stars. Her reflection shimmered against the glass, older now, but resolute. Pierce approached her quietly. "Thinking about it," she nodded. "About all of it. The vault, the Thalen, the Star Eater. And what comes next?" She smiled faintly. "The universe threw its worst at us. And we're still here." Pierce leaned on the railing beside her. "You know what scares me? What? We're not done growing. Not even close." Lana laughed softly. "Good. Let the universe be afraid, for in that moment, as the stars burned bright across the infinite dark, humanity stood not as victims of a hostile cosmos, but as its new wild card, unpredictable, relentless, unstoppable. The species that even the universe itself had learned to fear, because humanity had finally learned what it was capable of, and there was no turning back.